you continue to fight. What will you become?
So I recently had the privilege of going to an early screening of Rogue One. I won a competition through O2, and I thought I'd share my opinions with you all, with a review that tries not to spoil anything. First of all, I wanted to say how much this film is reminiscent of other Star Wars films. Now, obviously it's going to be really similar to previous Star Wars films. It's completely different from other films in the sense that it's not focused on any characters that we've seen before, and so it can get a lot grittier with the action, specifically in the ending where there's a lot of bloodshed and battle. In terms of characters, they're all pretty good. You seem to care about almost all of them, which is weird since there were so many new characters introduced. Felicity Jones plays Jyn, a rebel who has a passionate hate for the Empire. We find out in this film that she has a lot of ties with other characters that make her important for the rebels. Forrest Whitaker's character, whose name is Saw, is played well, but wasn't all that great. Since he's a good actor, his character was well done. However, since his character is kind of crazy, but didn't take back from the film at all. The character I think people are going to love in this film is the new robot K2SO. He's a reformed robot from the Empire, and he's quite funny because as a part of his programming, he doesn't really hold anything back and tells you exactly what he thinks, which is kind of cool. He's the friend of another character, Captain Kasian, who's kind of one of our main characters, who has a lot to do with Felicity Jones' character Jyn. I get a sense that he's kind of like Chewbacca and Han Solo, which was kind of alright in this film. The special effects in this film were really good. It's kind of like what you'd expect in a Star Wars film that has a budget of over $200 million. There was one scene which kind of took away from the film though, where a certain character from episode 4 is shown, and he's done in CGI, which you can't really do CGI people very well yet, even in these high budget films, especially when they're close up and it's really noticeable. And so that kind of took me out of this film. Of course, there were going to be a lot of Star Wars references in this film. This film kind of acts as context from between episode 3 and 4. And so there's going to be a lot of references to that, but it works well as a film on its own, and you really kind of care about the characters, especially a certain one or two, which you'll find out if you watch the film. Two things I noticed from a filmmaking viewpoint was that there were a lot of practical effects that really worked well with CGI. It's really seamless, and it was really well done. And something that's not really important, but something I noticed, was that there were no star wipes. These are the transitions that were used in every other Star Wars film beforehand, and I thought it was kind of interesting that they chose not to use them. One of my favourite scenes in the film was with a certain character with a red lightsaber, which I'm sure you all know who I'm talking about. But it was the way that it was done that I really liked. He lights up the entire room with his lightsaber. While you know he's coming, it really makes everything tense, and I really like that. One of my last thoughts, without giving too much away, is that we finally learn something about the Death Star that's been bugging fans since episode 4, and that's why it's so easily destroyable. I don't really think that gives too much away, but I think it's kind of important, and it's kind of satisfying to know. Overall, I think this is a good film. It's not the perfect film, but it certainly does a good job at referencing previous films, while also independently telling a good story. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you want to leave a rating to let me know what you thought, you can, and you can subscribe to see more. My name's James Hayes, and thank you for watching.